Hey guys, welcome friends. My name's Stu Williams, and you are here because you are wanting to check out my Inktober 2018 sketchbook tour. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. As you guys know, I normally do a Sunday sit down. I didn't do that yesterday because work life balance. Work has been hectic. We're working every other Mondays now. So I only get 2 days off every other weekend. Every other week I'm working 6 days. It kind of pressures me. And yesterday I decided to decorate for the holidays. So, I went out. I set the lights up around the house and went out and got a tree and started getting that holiday spirit for you guys. So, um, yeah. So, you gotta kind of put that balance in your life and enjoy things. I've been most of you that know me, really well know that I've been reading a lot of motivational books over the last several months. I've probably read the most uh, over the last 2 to 3 months that I've read in the last decade, surprisingly enough. So it's really kind of getting to me, and just the sheer fact of just doing things, getting things done is amazing to me. So if you guys want more information about that, you can check out all my other links. Look me up search Google for Super Thew, and you'll get access to all my information. All my Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and all that other uh, social media biz. But that might be something. Motivation might be something I get into a little bit later on. Um, when I do not hit my Sunday sit downs, I do have kind of this Monday motivation mindset. Things to get started for the week and everything. So I'm glad and I'm happy to share my Inktober illustrations for you. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Let me flip this camera around. All right, so we start out right off the bat with the first current Inktober illustration, just to kind of start you out. I had started with uh, originally not putting lettering on that, and then over the last few days, I knew I was going to be filming this video, so I started putting lettering on it. But then I decided how much you know, I don't dislike lettering, but it's not one of the things that I choose to put on most of my illustrations. So I kind of stopped it after I believe day 6. And you guys will see that kind of October, across the board, 2018 and Poisonous. So I immediately went back to my thoughts of Arizona, and the um, one of the deadliest scorpions that I've known lives in Arizona. I never. The only time I saw one was a dead one, but it just and I actually had a picture. This reminds me of a denim jacket that I had when I was a teenager. I was a fan of the band Scorpion, and I had the Scorpion logo and a scorpion across the back of that denim jacket. I really loved that jacket. So, yeah, day one, Poisonous. Uh, and I'll skip around a little bit on this sketchbook, just because you know some of the illustrations weren't filling the pages like I did. So went straight to day 2 on the second page. Day 2 was Tranquil. So I had this picture in my mind, and I did an illustration previously in one of my other sketchbooks of this female sitting in a lotus position, and then I put her on a underneath a waterfall, and I tried to put that splashing of the water across her head and shoulders and things like that. And most of these illustrations I did a Shumi ink wash, kind of mixed in with a few markers and micron pens, but those are the mainly supplies that I used. I did use a camel hair um, a brush to brush the Shumi ink in doing that wash. So if you guys are interested in that, that's what I did, and I did that. And day three, kind of humorous in a way. I was thinking of roasted, and I came up to I had the thoughts of Return of the Jedi in my mind for some reason, and the thought of Han Solo hanging over the fire being captured by the Ewoks. I didn't put any Ewoks in the background because that would probably have been too oh, just a little bit too much illustration from day to day. But as I was doing this, I was trying to keep up the prompts, keep up with every day doing the illustrations, and I did not plan them out. The only plan out I did was the previous night before. I did quick thought sketch. Um, I didn't put any thought hardly into it, maybe at the most 5 minutes on each sketch, and then I quickly started the illustration that morning. And luckily, I was done by most of the illustrations in the first hour right before I went to work. Day four was spell, so I was thinking about witches, and they have Witchtober as well, and I have another illustration of a witch, with Halloween, you know, looming in the balance in the distance, and yeah, I was thinking of spell, and I had this witch, and if you can see closely, she's conjuring up a smoking dragon uh, with her mystic abilities. So I really enjoyed that. So day four spell. And going back to jumping around a little bit, day five was what was day five? Day five, I believe, was Venom. Um, and Yeah, day five is Venom. So, obviously the movie came out, the Marvel movie Venom came out really soon around that time. And a big fan of Spider-Man. So it's like, hey, that's the Venom right there, and I'll put him on the page, and that was it. So those of us joining me, thank you for joining in, tuning in. This is my Inktober illustration. Um, what are we on? Day five? Oh, day six, drooling. Day six is drooling. So I had a little doggy drooling, all lazy on the page and everything. So day six is drooling. I love dogs, love dogs. Day seven, exhausted. Day seven, exhausted. Oh no, wait. I actually got those prompts wrong. So day six was drooling with venom. Day seven, exhausted. So I'm going to have to cross those out. And then day uh, day Yeah. So I believe this was fear or fright. And that was one of the days in between that. Moving on, day 8, star. So I was thinking about Captain Marvel and the star on her chest. I'm a big fan of Captain Marvel and all the Marvel films and all the Marvel creations. All that. May Stan Lee rest well and be in a better place in his own vision and his own uh, may he find his own way. We certainly lost a great illustrator in Stanley. Day 9, Precious. How can we not think of the movie Lord of the Rings when we're thinking of Precious and Gollum and the precious Lord of the Ring. Um, Day 10, flowing. So I thought of a swimmer, just kind of flowing in the water, struggling, so I just kind of did a quick wash of a swimmer flowing. Day 11, I kind of got a little risque with this drawing, cruel. So I have this woman kind of tied up with this dark figure in the background. So day 11's cruel. Day 12, I started getting really into like just the kind of searching for new creations, new ways of looking at things. And a whale, you can do a lot of things with a whale, but I decided to do this, and we have this huge Goliath Titan figure trying to capture this whale in its palm, and I really enjoyed trying to create that concept. With a mountain in a city on his back. I really enjoyed that drawing. Day 13, guarded. I actually was thinking about making this as a painting. As I was finishing it up, I really enjoyed this illustration. It, uh, surprisingly enough, it's not the one I enjoyed the most, but I really enjoy this guarded illustration of this stone guarding this gate, one, with the boat flowing across the lake. Day 14, clock. So just looking for some kind of a really interesting illustration of a clock. There's a lot of different ways I could have gone this, but we all kind of um, we're all kind of trapped by time, and I have this person kind of hanging in the balance on the time with the gargoyle and the demon in the distance and the gears on the bottom, and I was really enjoying kind of trying to put together something with time. All you guys can see all these illustrations on my Instagram feed. I did it mainly on Instagram. Day 15, week. So I had the samurai uh, swordsman kind of flowing after battling all these people in the background, and so I got the samurai kind of weak on this pile of bodies as he's battling. I'm going to skip over the next illustration because that was done not for Inktober. Day 16 was kind of difficult for me because it was, angular. There's a lot of ways you could go. I wanted to do something a little different. So I did this knife to kind of just like with these sharp angular lines for the sword and for his armor and things like that. So angular. Day 17, swollen. So what do we got? A big old frog with a little swollen uh, throat. Uh, I really enjoyed this illustration. I actually might do something with this a little bit later on. I like the frog and I like the mushroom in the background. Really enjoyed that. Um, Swollen. I'm kind of going to skip over and go to day 18, which was bottle. Um, so we have this kind of elf, and I named him on my Instagram. I believe I named him Neo. Um, Kind of drinking the bottles, getting intoxicated with all the bottles. So I really enjoyed that bottle. Day 19, Scorched. So day 19, kind of going back to that Witchtober kind of theme, and I wanted to kind of do the scorched in some way. So I got flames coming up, scorched pot, boiling kettle, with the witch in the background. I enjoyed that. Scorch. Day 20. Uh, Breakable. Day 20 is breakable. Um, so I was thinking of a couple of things on day 20 for breakable. But I was kind of going with the witch theme again. I put an orb in the center. And if I would add more to this, this is actually a heart within inside the orb, and she's kind of holding it in her hands, and it's very fragile and very breakable. So they, yeah, breakable. Day 21, drain. So when we think about drain, I really disliked the term used by the current President 45 of draining the swamp. Um, and it's real a travesty of what we're doing to all our wetlands and all our nature as a whole, trying to uh, gain that money. So I was thinking about drain, and so we have the swamp kind of image with little illustrations of deer and birds in the background with the boat and the money draining out of the swamp. So drain the swamp. Um, Day 22, I'm going to jump back to the toad, but under the toad we have expensive. So we got a Lamborghini Veni, or how do you pronounce it? Venera? Is it Venera? Yeah, I think it's Venera. Yeah, so I was trying to think of the most expensive car in the world. This is not it, surprisingly enough, but 4.7 million for a Lamborghini. Crazy, but I really enjoyed this. Nice line work. Kind of getting the right depth, precision on the wheels. Um, I really enjoyed kind of. I drew a couple illustrations as a child of a few Lamborghinis, and I really enjoyed it, and I went back to that. So day 23, we're on to day 23, and it's muddy. Just want to kind of go with the kind of started going with the dark images. So I just started kind of veering away from things. So day 23, muddy, and just had this image uh, kind of logging out of the swamp. Day 24 is Chop. Um, so we all know Halloween, and actually, I'm a big moviegoer, and actually, the new Halloween movie was coming out, coming closer to Halloween itself. Uh, I really, really enjoyed the 1978 original version of Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. Surprisingly enough, that did not spoil her career. Jamie Lee went, as we all know, Jamie we went on to go to bigger and better things, and was not stuck doing horror movies like so many people end up being stuck doing. So props to Jamie Lee for kind of continuing her career after the horror stage, but I really enjoyed Halloween. Day, what are we on? Day 25 was Prickly. So I was kind of looking for something a little off on this one. So I did draw a prickly barbed wire fence, but I drew a rose kind of coming up to that, and I drew this girl kind of just reaching down off of this somewhat kind of building or whatever, kind of reaching down to that prickly. Day 26 is Stretch. So I drew this Batista kind of pulling back, this burning arrow with some kind of warrior in the background. This looked way better in my mind than it actually turned out on the page, but it didn't come out too bad. So Batista, day 26 Stretch. Day 27 is Thunder. Um, so, and I looked up thunder gods, on the internet, came up with a lot of different ones. Obviously, Thor, uh, and I was thinking about Tyrannus, but I was like, hey, I'll just make my own. But I didn't name this actual thunder god, but we had lightning coming out of the hands, and kind of the image in the background. So Tyrannus. Day 28 is Gift. So I was thinking about Gift, and actually the television show The Gifted kind of came up into my head for some reason. I was kind of a spin on a Gift. Obviously with the holidays coming up, you couldn't really easily say, hey, here's a package and this is a gift. But I was actually saying, hey, this is a gift of powers. So a gift of spirit. So I drew this wizard kind of gifting the sorceress with spirit. So day 28 is gift. Day 29 is probably my most enjoyable illustration out of the whole bunch. Other than the Halloween illustration, I really enjoyed the Halloween illustration as well. But day day 29 is double. So I drew this double-headed Cyclops. Kind of like fantasy type of illustration with the background and the steps and things like that, and really enjoyed that. And there is a actual live stream of the Sunday sit down with me kind of working on this illustration. If you want to check that out, check out some of my previous videos. Day 30, we could go back to Thunder, but I ended up doing Jolt. So I was kind of thinking about the lightning again, since it was so easily in my mind. So went back to Jolt, and I had this guy getting jolted, like kind of like static shock or shocker, or any one of mystic power getting jolted by lightning. And day 31, we're finally there. We're finally over. Inktober is done, and it's Halloween time. So I just said, hey, the heck with it. We're slicing this page up, clawing it with this wolf man in the background, and we're saying, happy Halloween. It's over and done. So there we have it, Inktober 2018. I hope you enjoy that. I certainly enjoy putting all those sketches together for myself. Kind of challenging my imagination, challenging my ability. Big huge thanks to Jake Parker for actually creating Inktober, and yeah, try to take the challenge yourself. It will challenge your mind and challenge the things that like. Uh, so. Once again, guys, I appreciate you all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and all my other social medias. As I said in the beginning, if you want to check out my other social medias, you can just look me up at on search Google and search Super Thew. You'll find me right away. But like I said, I appreciate you all. Much love. Go after the life you love.